Ziauddin Yousafzai is a co-founder and board member of Malala Fund and Malala Yousafzai's father. For many years, Ziauddin served as a teacher and school administrator in his home country of Pakistan. When the Taliban invaded their home in Swat Valley, he peacefully resisted their efforts to limit personal freedoms. Speaking out put him at risk, but he feared that remaining silent would be far worse. Inspired by her father's example, Malala began publicly to campaign for girls to go to school. In October 2009, the New York Times filmed a short documentary about Ziauddin and Malala's fight to protect girls' education in Swat. Owing to her increased prominence, Malala was shot in the head by the Taliban 2 years later. She survived that deadly attack and was transported to the United Kingdom, from where her journey to the loftiest heights of philanthropy began. The rest, they say, is now history. We are now being joined by her proud father to share a bit of that experience and of the Malala Fund's work here in Nigeria. Good morning, and it's lovely to have you on the morning show.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me on your very popular show to highlight girls' education in Nigeria. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us. So Nigeria, I know, is a very important country to the Malala Fund. So I want for you to explain to us a little bit of why you're here supporting girl-child education in Nigeria.
Yes, of course. So our fund, our organization is working for girls' education all around the world, and Nigeria is one of the countries in the world with the highest population of out-of-school girls. 9 million girls in total who are out of school, 5 to 6 million secondary school girls. So this is a huge population of girls which is out of school, and that's why for Malala Fund, one of the most important countries in the world is this country where we want to see every girl in school achieving safe, free and quality education. Basically, what brought us to this country, it was in 2014. Chibok girls who were abducted, they brought us to this country. And at that time, in July 2014, we came to this country and we met the president, and later on, he also met the parents and the children, escaped children of Chibok girls. So that was our first entry, but we are working in this country for the last 10 to 12 years, and we are working with amazing organizations, 29 organizations, and we have invested more than $8 million. And right now we are working in 6 states, Borno, Bauchi, Kaduna, Kano, Adamawa and Oyo states, and these are particular states in the north where the number of out-of-school girls is the highest.
Right. Thank you very much. Can you share a bit more with us about how Malala Fund works? You've been here for 11 years in terms of your organization. Have you been raising money here? Have you been spending money here? How does it work? Who are the beneficiaries? And are you just basically limited to the northern part of the country, or the entire Nigeria, as it were?
You know that nationally, only 67% of girls complete junior secondary education in this country, and only 51% of girls complete their higher secondary education. So that's why like we are here working for girls' education, and we are working with the local organization, as I mentioned, and the goal is to make sure that like the most important challenge to girls in this country are early child marriages. That stops millions of girls from completing their education. So ending child marriage, and also there are organizations who are working on the re-entry of the pregnant girl, adolescent girls, young mothers, married girls, to bring them back to formal education. So we are supporting all those organizations who are working on policy change, who are working on gender responsive policies, and who are working on comprehensive budgeting to include girls' education and to promote girls' education. Like I will give you 2-3 examples. We work with local organizations. This is how we work. Like Malala and myself, basically in the Swat Valley, as you mentioned in the beginning, we were basically local activists in the Swat Valley, Pakistan. So here in this country, we also support local activists. I will mention, like in Kaduna State, our partner is CGE, who is working for girls' education, and also in Adamawa, this other organization which is called Central for Education Transparency, they have come with comprehensive education policy to promote girls' education. And in Kano State, we have a Bridge Connect initiative. So that organization has worked for developing a budget which has helped so many girls for their education and raised the education budget from 19 to 35%. And also they have restored some 15 boarding secondary schools to be working for girls back. So these are some examples. Also Youth Hub Africa, that is also a very prominent organization which is working for policy change. Like I will give you one more example, that in Kano and Kaduna State, our partners 4 years ago, they were able to pass the Child Rights Act, and it had a ripple effect in the whole country, and it ensured free education for 800,000 children. So these are some of the examples which I can give, that our fund is working with the local partners, amazing organizations who are promoting girls' education. And I just 2 days ago, I was in Zaria. And I saw the work of CGE, Central for Girls Education, that is run by Mama Habiba. I call her sister Mama Habiba. So this organization, Center for Girls Education, they started it some 18 years ago in Zaria, just from one school. Now it has been spread to 7 states in this country, and it is also working in 5 other African countries. And when I met the girls who are the adolescent girls there in the safe spaces, I was extremely impressed. Like one of the girl who was divorced because her husband divorced her because he thought that she is not serving his mother, and then later on, after the divorce, he blamed her of being unfaithful. So there were heart-wrenching stories, but on the other hand, these girls have these safe spaces, and they are coming together, and they are learning. They are getting education, but they are also getting skills. Like 15 skills are being taught to them, from pottery, knitting, cooking, like even shoemaking. And it was so impressive, a holistic approach of education. So that was a great example. And when I met the boys, adolescent boys, they were learning about GBV. And when I asked them that, like what kind of change you have after being in this place, so they are good boys now. They know what a good man should look like. Yeah. And their space, like these safe spaces of CGE, have not only changed the lives of those boys and those girls, but the girls also told me that like these young girls who are married and they had babies in their lap and they still learn. And they told me that this space, like this education skills, it has also changed their husbands' lives. So that program is transforming everything for that community, and not for that community, but for the country as well and for that state as well.
I love that that was just an elaborate explanation, and I really enjoyed that you expanded on how you're working with the local partners, the Center for Girls Education in Kaduna, that CFIT in Adamawa, and you're also working with organizations in Kano, in Zaria. And these are all private organizations that are working towards establishing a sort of safe haven for girls, and their core being in education. Now, in a lot of these locations that you have mentioned, there's heightened insecurity, right? There are so many instances of child marriages. There are so many instances where we will definitely find girls who are out of school. We would find a lot of gender-based violence in those localities. And in as much as I completely understand the work that you do, we cannot take away the part of the government's effort in this and the government's support. So how would you say that through your entire journey, you've been able to secure that support from the government to make sure that the work that you're doing is sustainable over a period of time? How has the government been able to support your work here?
Thank you. This is a very good question. Basically, like our fund is working, as I mentioned, for the last 11 years, and I myself have been to this country now. This is my 5th time to be here, and after meeting people like the religious leaders, the traditional leaders, like I met the Sultan of Sokoto, and I was very impressed that he was very proud of the legacy of Nana Asamao, and he is a great champion of girls' education. Then I also met 2 days ago with His Royal Highness the Amir of Zazo, in Zaria, and when I heard from him, I was very impressed that how keen he was about girls' education and women empowerment. Also, I met elders of the community leaders in Zaria, and they were so excited after when I spoke with them. They were so responsive, and like right from the Sultan of Sokoto down to the girls, the adolescent girls. Like in June I came and I had this round table in Abuja, and there were like religious leaders like Sheikh Nuruddin Limo from the Muslim community. There was John Joseph from the Christian Association, and I met Shurem, who is a big media influencer, and I met 2 girls like Amina Yusuf, Halima Yusuf, who had amazing fathers to support their daughters. So I'm just giving you a picture that if on the one hand there is a big challenge, there is, on the other hand, we have this huge potential, some passive and active support. And a few days ago, we had a great educational conference here in Abuja, hosted by Malala Fund. And I was so impressed that everyone in that room, whether it was from the public, like from the government, from civil society, from UN agencies, like we had the honor to have HM for Women Affairs, and we were also the State Minister of Education, Shoaib Ahmed was there, and all these people from government, from civil society, they were supportive to girls' education. They were supportive to use education as policy to end child marriages. So we see a huge support, a huge potential for public-private support in this country for girls' education. But because this is so important, this country leaders, everyone should realize that girls' education is the most rewarding phenomena. This is just one example, and there is a data that if we educate all girls in Nigeria for 12 years, Nigeria can add 100 billion to its economy every year. So when we change the world for girls, the girls change our world. So that's why I see a huge potential. There may be some difficulties, challenges.
Before we round up, no, sorry, I just want to come in here because we're short for time. I want to ask what your message would be for fathers who might be watching, or for male allies, how important you think their roles are. Because you've spoken about a little bit about the roles of like the Sultan of Sokoto or the Emir of Zazzau, and the role of traditional rulers in shaping the perception of girl education and girl child education, particularly in the north. But on a more micro level, you stood up to the Taliban because you wanted your daughter and other girls like her to be educated. So I was wondering what your message would be for other fathers or male allies in society who are listening, and what role you think can be played by these traditional rulers that you're meeting with to ensure that girl child education is taken very seriously in Nigeria.
My simple message to all fathers in this country, and to be honest, this is not only me as a father, as like a good father who supported his daughter. I met so many great fathers in this country as well, like when we celebrated the father of the State Minister for Education, Shoaib Ahmed's father. I have raised just only one daughter. He has raised many daughters, empowered, educated. So my simple message here is, I say always two things. Number one, when people ask me what special I did for my daughter, I tell them, don't ask me what I did. Ask me what I didn't do. I didn't clip the wings of my daughter. So my first message to every father, and especially to all Nigerian fathers, that don't clip the wings of your daughters. Be their support and support them. And the second is to provide a conducive environment for them to learn, to grow, to thrive, to be themselves. Because when a baby girl is born, her first encounter with a man is her father. And if that father believes in her potential, she will never doubt herself. And if that father believes in her freedom, nobody can chain her spirit. So that is simple message. And we have great, like Nigeria as the country, where we have like an independent chapter here of the Malala Fund, which is led by this amazing leader, Nabila, with her wonderful team. So I will request everyone in this country to support the Malala Fund team, because we are partners. And fathers, religious leaders, government authorities, we all have to come together to support girls' education. There are a lot of issues, but as a father, as an educator, what I know is this, that if we invest in girls' education, it only not changes their lives and their family and community lives, it changes everyone's life. And if we want to see this country rich, we must invest in education. And most importantly, I will highlight three things. Number one, we should make sure, like the government authorities, civil society, that all millions of girls who have been married very early and now they are young mothers or they are pregnant, we should make sure that they should have a re-entry to the formal education. And number two, there is a big deficiency of financing. State governments, federal governments, they should escalate, they should increase money for education. They should spend more money on education, because I have seen that there is very poor infrastructure for educational institutions. And lastly, safety is one of the most important things. Girls should be safe when they go to school, when they are in school, and especially in North, we see that when girls go to school, they are not safe because of some militant organizations or some other reason. So it should be made sure that every girl in this country gets free, safe, and quality education. And that is the way towards a peaceful, prosperous, and rich country, Nigeria.
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Yousafzai, for joining us today on the morning show.
You're welcome.
And also kudos to the work that Malala Fund is doing in Nigeria. every girl should be educated.